living this life, not just dreaming it, we're doing it Pharaoh. Straight to the top. Working hard every day just to live out that tower.
All right, man. Welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Monte and the Pharaoh, only seen here live from Village Connection Radio, live from Rockstar Studios here in Huntington. At the board is none other than the owner of this illustrious station, Mr. Jim Savali. Sweating it.
Bro, I got to tell you, if I counted 3 hours I just made at the beginning of your show. I don't know if you caught them all, but I did. But what I'm really scared about now is the fact that your show seems to be running beautiful. This light is green, which means perfect.
Right.
And the plumbers are on their way out of here after their show did not work perfect. I think they're going to kill me.
They may kill you. They're probably waiting for you outside.
They told me they were going to kill me.
Well, I don't blame them. I want to thank none other than Aqua Cherry, who is now the new theme song for the Monte and the Pharaoh
Aqua Cherry?
Monte and the Pharaoh show, Straight to the Top. You could also catch Aqua Cherry on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, with such songs as Bleachin', Straight to the Top, our theme song, and Yes, Yes. I want to introduce our guest at this time, pro wrestler, stuntman, business owner, I don't know what else to call him. He does everything. Actor, Mr. Jimmy Jact Cash. Thank you, Mr. Jimmy Jact Cash, for joining us. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great, brother.
It's great, and I thank you for coming on. Real quick, I want to tell you a story. I had a nephew that hated professional wrestling. He didn't understand it, so I brought him to a show in Deer Park, and you were headlining it with the late Balls Mahoney. I think it might have been like an alley fight or a street brawl. By the time that thing was done, he was a wrestling fan, and I got to tell you, you are the real deal, man. You are the real deal. Do you remember that match?
Well, yeah, I think that was a hardcore match where I do believe that there was something about a pile driver on a whole bunch of chairs.
Oh man, that was awesome.
If I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Now, I can tell you about that match real quick.
Go ahead.
2 weeks before, I wrestled Balls Mahoney to win the title that night, and I actually broke my ankle, legit, like broke it. And of course I didn't go to the doctors, and I walked it off, and I'm thinking, damn, I just won the title, I can't miss this match. So the doctor, and you might have known Don Moore, was the chiropractor guy, he happened to be there, and he's like, and I had this ankle wrap. He's like, dude, let me wrap your ankle. So I actually, when I broke my ankle, I broke it in the first minute of the match.
Wow.
And then I finished the match for like 15, 20 minutes, and no one even knew it broke. Wow. Because what I started doing was all of my kicks and all these moves off my left leg because my left ankle was broken. So I started doing my right ankle was broken. So I started doing all like my moves off my leg, whatever. You get the point. Yeah. Where I made it so I worked around my ankle injury, and I actually gave Balls to forget about it through a table the 2 weeks before. So anyway, went in there, broke an ankle, did that whole match. That's what the true epitome of hardcore wrestling really is, and that's why I don't blame your nephew or whatever it was. Was it your nephew? You said
it was
that
my
didn't
nephew.
like wrestling.
It was my nephew who didn't like wrestling. That's right.
Yeah, I don't blame him. But you know what? What I like, because I don't like wrestling, but I like hardcore wrestling. I like good wrestling. I don't like a lot of the stuff that's going on today. Straight up. Can't get into it.
Well, so let me ask you this. I want to start from the beginning. Where were you born, and when did you decide that you might want to be a professional wrestler? Or what did you want to do before you became a professional wrestler?
Well, pretty much I was born in Staten Island, New York. That's legit. That's why, and I want to be a wrestler probably my whole life, to be honest with you, not even a question of it. But I always wanted to be a businessman as well. And, so I could tell you in high school when they said, what do you want to be? And I raised my hand, I said pro wrestler. So I started going to school at Marist College, and I'm like my second year in, taking business courses and stuff. And I said, listen, I can't do it without training wrestling. I got to get out of here. I got to go to Boston, which I did. Killer Kowalski's, moved out there, saved up some chip, moved out to Boston, which is pretty expensive at the time. Paid my $3K to get into school, and didn't finish school, but did still go to school. Started making more money, and realized after I took a finance class, there's no reason for me to be in college. When I realized I knew more than most of the professors on a lot of different subjects. You know what I'm saying? And the rest was self-taught.
Right.
So that's kind of like the name of the game. So went out. I was always going to do it. Always wanted to be in the gym business. Always wanted to be a businessman, and be like, you know what? No offense to the $1 Million Man, but you're a gimmick. I'm the real deal. And anybody who knows me knows that that's the real deal. They train in my school, in my building that's worth millions of dollars, and that's another story. And that's being humble. I'm not bragging. I'm not getting into it all. But you got to read the book for that.
Oh, you're writing a book too?
No, but one day. You know what I'm saying? Someone will write it for me, you know what I mean?
I don't know. Listen, dude, in today's world, it's like everybody wants to write a book. Everybody wants to do this. Everybody
the
wants
last
to
thing
do
I
that.
want to do.
I get it drives me a little bit crazy, man.
Yeah, no, I'm all set with that.
So, what wrestler makes you want to become a wrestler?
Well, I mean, put it this way. I mean, I remember, this is real, okay? The first memory in my entire life, no exaggeration, first memory of my entire life was my great-grandmother, who was from Italy, and I remember sitting on a plastic couch with plastic over it, looking at a black and white screen TV, and her not knowing much English, but going, Jamesy, that's what they used to call me. Look at the TV. That's who you want to be like, Bruno Sammartino. Now, I never even watched another Bruno Sammartino match till later on in my life, but I remember Bruno Sammartino that. Fast forward to one of my next memories of life is WrestleMania 3, watching it at a closed caption event at a movie theater, if you guys remember that.
Absolutely.
So, I'm not going to lie, or exaggerate, but yeah, sure, I had the Hulk Hogan do-it-yourself workout routine, which was a cassette tape, some gloves, a jump rope, the gripper machine, right? If you remember that?
Yeah.
And it was Hogan going, come on, brother, do some push-ups, do 2 more sit-ups, man, jumping jacks, brother, jump rope. So, I mean, I would have to say Hulk Hogan back in the day, I mean, all the guys, I mean, Honky Tonk Man, JYD, honestly, SD Jones, I don't know how I liked them, but I did, Bundy, Iron Sheik, all those guys, so when I got an opportunity to meet a lot of them and work with a lot of them, I would do that all day, then wrestle some J-bro who ain't got a clue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
So how do you hook up with Kowalski, and then when do you get your first big break?
Well, that's a good question. So before the internet, and you want to be a wrestler, you had to send away in Pro Wrestling Magazine, pay the $20, and then they mailed you a whole bunch of names and coupons on a piece of paper. Here are the wrestling schools in the country, and I knew. And I'm not doing this because I really don't give a. Can I curse?
You could curse all you like.
All right. I really don't give a shit about Triple H. I really don't give a shit about WWE. I promise you that. But I have to admit, Triple H, I always thought was the best technical wrestler in the ring. Because I remember when he first started, I was like, that guy is a very good wrestler. He's the best. Then you had Saturn, who was an unbelievable wrestler. And I said, those are the 2 best guys that I see wrestle. There's got to be something with Killer Kowalski's. There's got to be something there. And that's the truth. So based on the fact that Triple H, I thought, was the most sound technical wrestler in WWE, which I proved to be right. You know what I'm saying? If you get the point, you know what I'm saying? I was right. I'm always right. And I went to Kowalski's because of that. You know what I'm saying? And then, you call Kowalski, hey, you want to be a wrestler? Yes, Killer. How you doing? Come on out. I'm here Tuesday, Thursday nights. Okay, Walter. All right, Mr. Kowalski, thank you. You go out there, met him, hey, can I come train? Yep. Boom. Get the apartment, pay the money, train for Kowalski's for like 2-3 years. You know what I'm saying? It's an assistant trainer at the end of the day. So there's a lot more to the story, but that was it.
So you actually trained with him for like 2 or 3 years, though?
Absolutely, yeah. So, and you know what? He was my guiding force into what I believe wrestling should be and is today. And when you remember with Kowalski, he would scream, get on the top. Like, if you did a move and it looked fake, like that word or whatever it was, he would get up and scream, fake, fake, you suck, fake. And he'd literally be like, that's the shits. Everybody knows that's the shits. It's fake, 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 get out of the ring, these guys suck. And he'd be like that. But on a good note, I used to do some moves. And Kowalski would be like, you can't do that move to him. You're going to kill him. He's going to break his neck. I go, Walt, I promise. I'm not going to break his neck. This is a true story. He goes, come here. I go, ask the kid. He goes, did that hurt your neck? He goes, no, Walter didn't. He goes, good move. Do that every time you wrestle. So it was awesome.
That is awesome.
Submission. He taught me a lot of submission holds for real too. He knew some stuff.
Who passed in your time with Kowalski? Can you name some wrestlers that might have passed through the school that?
Damian Sandow.
Go ahead.
I know him as Aaron Stevens. He was one of them. Eddie Edwards.
Okay.
Is one of them. Chris Nowinski. Chris Harvard, whatever.
Yep.
I honestly, Frankie Kazarian.
Wow.
Was there? Well, Prince Albert. I know him. He came back. I maybe forgot who I was, but whatever, But a couple guys like that. It was a bunch. Honestly, besides that, I don't. When I say, was there anybody else important? No, everybody was important, but those are the names you'd recognize.
Okay, so push a little forward now. When do you get your first opportunity to work in the WWE minors? I know that you made Heat. I know you wrestled Duggan on Heat, if I'm correct. And correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And
I did a couple stints. Yeah. All right. Well, truth be known, I had a couple things here and there. Actually, this is I actually walked in at Raw and got my match. I didn't get called. You know what I'm saying? Just walked in there, looked like a wrestler, walked up to the ring, went in there. You know what I'm saying? A couple guys knew me. That they kind of gave me the wink and the nod. Then I shot on a couple guys. True story. It looked really good. Then
listen,
what's his name? Ricky Steamboat.
We're gonna do this like the Austin podcast. When it's a true story, I'm gonna go shoot, and then you go, yeah, all right.
I don't know. I never watched. I would never do that.
All right, so go ahead. I'm only kidding. Go ahead.
So no, I know. A good guy. On TV. Anyway, no. So shoot like I ran him a little bit in the ring. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the old timers liked that were there, the agents and shit. And they were like, "Hey, you want to do the match?" I said, "Yeah." But that's it. And then I got called for NXT, and really honestly couldn't take the pay cut straight up. So it's tough.
So
there's
a pay cut from working the indies to going to NXT for you?
Pay cut from making a lot of money to making what those guys make. Can't do it.
I gotcha.
I would love to wrestle for WWE or anything else, but I'm not one of these guys that can live in some apartment with 5 other dudes and just lose my houses, lose my property, my investment properties, lose my apartment properties that I rent, lose my businesses. It ain't gonna happen. I'm not doing it.
So
unfortunately,
why do the wrestling thing? Obviously, you're a great businessman, right? We'll get into your gym real quick.
I think you guys are going to have a lot of surprises of what's going to happen. Why I've been kind of on the low. So, you know what I mean? And, of course, I would never stop wrestling, so that's not going to happen. Right now, I have an injury that I'm healing, which was a positive thing because I have a jiu-jitsu background, and tournament jiu-jitsu, I hurt my knee when I was 17, 18. So I ended up popping my ACL 2002 or something, right? And then everything's good for 10 10, 12, like years or whatever. Then I go, hey, it's starting to hurt. So they scope it. And like let's say like 4 years ago. Works good 2 years later. I'm like running, doing everything, athletic, starting to loosen up. Anyway, they scope it. I tell them I think my ACL's messed up or something. I don't know what's going on in there. I'm kind of nervous. They said, no, you got an ACL. There's no way you're squatting 400 pounds, running around a ring, kickboxing, all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, well, it kind of hurts, when I'm doing it. And they're like, you can't, you have an ACL. Maybe it's a little loose, but let's scope it and then we'll look at it. Anyway, they scope it and go, hey, dude, you don't got an ACL. So anyway, now I get a new ACL about 3 months ago. I got 3 more months of rehab, and my knee feels better than it ever has since like 14 years ago, before the ACL, because they have a new procedure. I was one of the first hamstring ACL replacements, like almost ever.
Did they give you like a what do they call it, like a Godiva?
I wouldn't do that. No, I do my own hamstring.
Okay.
Yeah, a cadaver. But yeah, you're right.
Right.
Because you know what they said? You want a cadaver? I said, dude, my tendons are not gonna match up with some like other dude's tendons. Like you're gonna get some NFL dude. You know what I'm saying? Like I do 2-3 hours of cardio a day. I own a gym. I live in a gym. I got an apartment near my gym. Ish. What I mean? My whole life is gym. You know what I'm saying? So I'm working out once or twice a day, every day. I'm doing, and anybody who knows me, this is not an exaggeration. I'm doing an hour to 3 hours of cardio every day. I'm doing an hour to an hour and a half to 3 hours of working out with weights and activity. It's just what I do.
What are you weighing in at nowadays?
Right now, all right, I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm 295.
Okay. So here's a hard question for you. A lot of wrestlers come. We've had a lot of famous wrestlers come through the Monte and the Pharaoh show.
Yeah.
How have you hit the juice, and how often have you hit the gas?
No. How about this? I'll take a steroid test anytime, any place, anywhere, and we'll put 10 grand on it and give it to a charity.
No,
I don't do steroids.
Listen, I'm not challenging you. Saying
no. That's my. Yep. If you've ever watched my YouTube, that's my challenge.
Okay.
Because here's what it is that people can get around tests and they can say whatever they want, but I don't do steroids. You know what I'm saying? And I've done a couple over the counters when they were legal. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't. That's not my thing. I'm already too big. Like I'm about like loose cardio, athleticism. So, you know what I mean? I don't inject myself with steroids. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, that's not me.
Well, speaking of steroids, there's a match out there. I guess maybe you had it in OVW. I'm not sure of the organization. You wrestled John Cena.
Never did, but never OVW, but go ahead.
John Cena? You wrestled John Cena?
Yeah. When I whooped John Cena's butt on TV?
Yeah.
Yeah. And ragdolled him? Yeah. But I was also like probably 205. In that picture, and he was obviously, you could say it, I won't. I don't need to.
Oh, so
right? He was like twice the size then than he is now.
So when John passes around that he never took steroids, you're not.
No, I don't think he ever said that.
What's that?
John actually said he's never got caught taking steroids. That's why I say I'll take it a step further. You want to test me? You know what I'm saying? Because he doesn't get tested.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But that's between him and himself and God. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people that know him. You know what I mean? And I don't need to get into that.
All right. Are you a John Cena guy? Was he polite to you when you guys worked together?
I'm not a John Cena guy at all. Do I look? Hold on a second. Hold on. Do I look like a John Cena guy? I am the antithesis of John Cena. John Cena is like the lowest level of professional wrestling champions, if you ask me. He's the reason. If you look at John Cena's record in terms of ratings, that's when the decline of WWE's TV ratings went. Was when John Cena started. Look at it. You know what I'm saying? Look at the decline, and you have to ask yourself why. So that's it.
Okay, it's fair enough.
Yeah, man.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And I'm saying this. If he ever wants to have a rematch, because I'm 1-0 against him, then he's been ducking me for 20 years.
Just cut him off.
He's been ducking me. You know what I'm saying? He knows who I am. I know who he is. I've seen him afterwards. And he doesn't want to step to the most from coast to coast. He's scared. He's a weakling. He's a punk. He's a paper champion. He'll never wrestle Jimmy Jact Cash. He's scared, and I would ragdoll him. I promise. Like, no one's ever thrown John Cena around before like Jimmy Jact Cash would and could on his worst day. A ragdoll.
Listen.
There you go.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Who have you worked with that you just didn't, besides John Cena, that you just didn't get along with or you didn't like?
Oh, no, I didn't say I didn't get along with him. I never, no, you know. I never said that.
I'm not setting you up, man.
I never said that, no. I never said I didn't get along with him.
Okay.
But anyway, are there a bunch of a-holes on the independents and stuff? Yeah, like probably 9 out of 10. Because no one wants to, like, all right, listen. I did my little wrestling shtick for that last segment, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
But the truth is that a lot of people don't want to wrestle me. And this is a problem a lot of promoters have. Like, I have to wrestle someone that has, like, I'm going to watch my mouth. I was going to put that.
Come on.
I have to wrestle someone that has, a good, what is it called, that's not self-conscious, that has a good, idea of himself. He's got to be like, or he gets stuck, like, damn it. I got stuck wrestling Jimmy. I got to get tossed around by this guy.
Right.
Or you got to have, like, you have self-confidence that you could perform to a different level, Because a lot of these guys, and this is the truth, if you look at, like, a lot of the guys out there, they're like 165 pounds.
Thank you, sir.
Like,
thank you for that.
No, and then they wrestle like they're like Hawk and Animal and Big Papa Pump in their primes, and they beat up 125-pound guys.
Yep.
And now it's like, so it's like I go up to these dudes, like, for example, what's that one guy in WWE's name? He's Long Island dude, Tony Nese.
Yep.
Tony Nese. Tony Nese thought he was like the biggest dude ever, right? And like everyone's like, he's huge, and on TV he looks huge, but in reality he's like what, like 185 or like 200 or something. So like, not to brag, but I'm a strong dude. I get under the bar a lot as like some big dude. He's like, yo, bro, you get under the bar a lot, huh? I'm like, yep. I worked out with a lot of dudes from prison. Never went to prison, but that's who I used to work out with. I'm like, I went to the biggest, baddest dude in the gym. Like, how'd you get like this wide? Like, what happened? You know what I'm saying? So, I wrestled him, and he was cool because he was down to go. I'll give him that credit. But I tossed him like I tossed him and proved that there's a weight division in wrestling.
Well,
like,
let me ask you this: you're training wrestlers right now, correct?
Yeah.
Give a shout out for the gym that you now opened.
Okay, well, here's the thing. It's like I got a building. Okay, it's a big, huge building, and I got a couple things going on. I got my restaurant. That's Cafe Coffee. All right, we got a little arcade area. We sell groceries. We have a full menu. Come on down. We got great food if you're ever in the area. As you walk through the cafe, there's a gym. So this is a full gym. Cardio, strength training, ellipticals, weights, blah, machines, free weights. That's I Am Fitness. Now, part of I Am Fitness, when you go upstairs, we got a ring. Because think about this. It's a second level, and it's able to hold like 400 people there. That's how big. And that's only half of my second level. But anyway, so now we got the second level. It's got a ring in there. And that's like my MMA pro wrestling. And that's called what everybody's talking about. The new talk of the town is ground and pound. Now, ground and pound is my registered trademark. Ground and pound, pending. And that's like if there was tap out, like you put a dude in a submission, you tap him out. What we do is we take him down and ground you out. Bam. Knock you out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's ground and pound. And that's the pro wrestling / MMA area, which I still have weights and kickboxing bags, speed bags, rings, grappling mats. It's huge.
All right, so I want to just end it with this, and I want to get into some politics with you.
All right, sounds good.
So here's the deal: you're training guys. Today's indie wrestlers, right? Even the pro style. You go there and you feel like, I'm 270 pounds, right? I'm not in shape like you. I'm fat, not muscular like you. But when I feel like I could beat up a wrestler, it's just not the same anymore. You got these kids coming in there, 120 pounds, 110 pounds. What's the deal with that? Like, how do you take that seriously?
I promise you this: I am bringing them in correctly. If anybody understands what that means. I am bringing it in Kowalski style. You know what I'm saying? Where I've already turned away people. Like, there's money involved, but I'm not taking the short money to give up the long money. Like, if there's a young dude, he's going to learn that that's his role. You know what I mean? But you look at Daniel Bryan. At this point, there's different aspects to wrestling. What am I supposed to say to someone when you look at Daniel Bryan, who can't, if he tried to bench 315, he would die. And I'm going to tell him he can't be a world champion. I look at these kids that are 125 pounds, don't work out, aren't in shape. I go, dude, you look like the next Daniel Bryan. Pay me $4,000. Let's go.
Let's go. Pay me.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Here's what the forget about it feels like. Wham! And I'm not exaggerating.
All right, Jimmy.
But I teach them the right way because there's a welterweight division, there's a bantamweight, and then there's that.
All right, we're gonna jump onto this. We have every Sunday the Evan Ginsberg show. He was the associate producer for The Wrestler. You know that movie, right?
I never watched it,
but you know it.
Heard of it. Okay. Paul Enormous was in it, my buddy.
And 350 Days, the documentary which came out recently, actually in the top 10 of iTunes. He's here every Sunday from 11 to 1. We do something called Evan Ginsberg Daily Rant. I'm going to read his statement. I'm going to ask you to respond. All right, here we go. Just bear with me here, man. And, I'm going to read this to you. And we're going to and then you have at it. You ready?
Okay.
I think we're a decade or so away from folk being too scared to leave their house in fear of lunatics gunning them down, except to get to work, and you sit at home as Amazon runs the world where everything is delivered to you. You'll sit in front of a giant TV screen and or computer with surround sound and just watch content. Hell, we're almost there already.
Well, he's got a point there. That's what they want. I say they, like the globalist powers that be, do want that to happen. I can tell you in the country, it ain't gonna happen. But they're letting a lot of the people run wild on purpose, and between the medication, they're medicating these people. They're having people move away from God. They're de-educating the children and brainwashing them, so that the next generation that comes up doesn't know what aspect of the world is really reality or not. And they're also allowing the technology to interface with humans in such a way that they're trying to get people to not go out of their house and sit home and have fear. But as long as there's a God in this world, which there is, and we could keep going on with it. What do I think is going to happen in the future? I don't know how many years away it's going to happen, but you have Elon Musk made an announcement saying that he's going to have people put wires in their head and have we'll know as a Bluetooth inside your head. That's like a small wire this big, and he's going to start rolling that out within the next couple months, not years, in large malls and different areas where you can have this put into your ear and you can interface with all of your electronic equipment. So, when that happens, who's in control? You or the machine? So there's going to be a choice that people are going to have to make, whether they like it or not. And this is where the global currency is already coming to play with Facebook currency, and what is that called? Bitcoin is a sample of a rollout of it to have this interface with people where you're going to have to commerce only without digital currency, and you're gonna have to be part of the system. I went to Walmart last night, and there's a camera in my face. I'm trying to buy food, and and they don't have the checkouts. You have to check it out yourself, and literally there's a camera in my face. So they already got my facial recognition on many things, but it's just weird. So, that's the left, which is the Democrats, okay, and socialist, communist, globalists do want you to be fearful of the crazy lunatic that has a gun or a truck or a knife and make you fearful to go out of your house. So the answer is definitely more guns, because everybody needs to lock and load, like beyond normal. And unfortunately, you're going to need to fortify your dwellings when the time comes. But you can't live in fear, because the Bible says to fear God alone. So you could walk through a hail of bullets, and the right one will only hit you. Well, if he wants you to.
Well, you just answered my question on your stance on gun control. What's your stance on immigration?
What do you mean? Immigration, like allowing people to come into the country legally through the right process?
Let me clarify.
Or you're talking about invasion.
Let me clarify. Illegal immigration.
Well, you mean illegal immigration is an oxymoron term, but I'm just messing with you there. I get the point. People coming here illegally. Well, let's face. There's two sides to it. Do I feel I should do it? Of course not. Okay, I am I am right of conservatism. Okay, proudly, I am right of conservatism. Now, the only reason why I say that is I want to show you where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? That still makes me a conservative. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So anyway, on that note, this is what people don't want to hear. There's 2 billion people in China. Okay. They say 1.9. A couple, 5 years ago it was 2.2. America has, let's say, 350 million people. Let's say it's 380. Who even knows? With the illegal immigration numbers. How many more people do we need in our country, quote unquote, according to people in, let's say, the commerce section and economic section of the world? How many more people do they want to sell products to build up the GDP of this country through goods and services sold domestically? You understand where I'm going with it?
Yeah.
So that's why they're allowing it in, because they want to flood bodies. They want to sell toilet paper. They want to sell ketchup. They want to sell a house. They want to sell an apartment. They want to get government money to put them in an apartment that a government gave them money to build. You know what I'm saying? They want to take government funds that help them build an apartment complex, and then government money to help them pay for the apartments that they built through DSS and Section 8 programs. So this is what they want. And they also want slave labor. If they bring them in illegally, as opposed to saying, hey, listen, we need 50 million people. Let's just say the argument is, now, let's say we don't need it because we could just build our wealth up on our own and expand. But let's say we need population, right? Let's just blankly say it. Okay, we brought them in legally, even if it was just like, hey, you're not even a citizen, you can't vote, but we need you to have a tax ID number. And we need you to be in certain areas of the country that can help, that could fill you in, like let's say a dying town or something like that, right? Anyway, I digress, but not much. So let's say they needed that. Now, that person could go out and get a job somewhere, and wages would still go up. And they wouldn't have to live in the apartment that is appropriated to them. So by bringing them in illegally, they have to go into these certain areas or have to work for certain companies that the government is turning a blind eye to, like the factory in Mississippi, you know what I mean, where you see some of these factories where they just took out 600 people. Now everybody in town knows there's illegal immigrants working there. Everybody knows that they're all illegal, but by doing that, they have to live, they get forced to get paid lower wages, right? You follow me that?
I'm following you.
Okay. They're forced to pay like $6 an hour, and then they're forced to live in the apartment that the person built out for them, and they live like 40 to a house. And I've seen it before, firsthand, with my own eyes. That's what they do. So now that person is a slave. And instead of whipping them, they say, you better go here or go there. They lock them up. They transport them to the factories. They pay them just enough to live, to eat. Then they transport them back to the living quarters. And that's what the Democrats want. They want slaves. Okay, I'm not going to get into the American slavery, but they want cheap labor for their factories, for their places of work. Then they're going to tell those people, you go and vote under this dead person's name. Or they'll register them, and you know that there's millions of people voting illegally. It's a proven statistic. Millions. Like 2.6 million people voted illegally during 2016, according to a Harvard study. That was about what it was. And Trump knows it, and how are you going to stop it? That's another story.
Well, those are
not to mention that it's drugs, and Trump keeps hinting towards the human trafficking, which is prostitution, and then after they're selling these kids for like $10,000, $15,000 or $50,000, and they're pimping them out and whoring them out. They're putting them into the system, and they're a Democrat voter later on, or they remain in these sweatshop factories that are in America hidden. And if they got rid of that and brought them in right, everybody's wages would go up. Even the factories workers' wages. Well, there were 6 in Mississippi that they just did this bust. 600 people. Guess what? There's 600 new jobs in that town. They got to pay regular wages and taxes. So it's a tax. They want to collapse the system, bro. You know that. They're not doing this for any other reason but to collapse the system and then to put themselves in charge, to make everybody worker bees for them, and then the top just eats all the cake.
So is your point that President Trump is trying to stop this to get people in here the proper way, so everything's done the right way? Is that your point?
Well, of course he is. He's trying to, but you see what the judges are doing, and those judges need to be arrested. And if you ask me, they need to be tried and put up for treason. So these liberal judges listen, how about this, right? There's no precedent for them to stop a military action of building a wall on the border. That's military. That's not State Department. Goes under the guise of military law to protect your borders. Am I right? Do you understand that? Like, you agree with me?
Yep.
Okay. So now, how is a judge going to stop any military action from a president? Is he going to tell them, you can't drop that bomb, I do an injunction in Iraq? Oh, wait, hey, sir, there's nuclear bombs on the way from Russia. We're going to send up missiles. Oh, no, we're going to stop the missiles because the Ninth Court judge says so. No, it doesn't happen. So you know what? Trump should, if you ask me, he's setting up for the second term because it's already going to happen. You know what I mean? We have to stay vigilant, but that's when shit's going to go down. So he's kind of doing this now and still rallying his base for the next one. But these judges are not allowed by the Constitution to stop a military ruling from the president.
Right.
And that's why they're getting turned down.
Jimmy, I got about 2 minutes. I want to back up and ask you another question. Do you think it's time that the U.S. Well, we got a little extra time. That's good. Do you think that the U.S. should look at the amendments and maybe make some adjustments considering what's happening right now?
Well, an amendment by definition is an adjustment.
Exactly.
Of the Constitution.
But obviously, we're not changing the amendments or the Bill of Rights, right? So we need to amend the Bill of Rights. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, what area? Show me a point. Is there something wrong?
Well, let's use the mass kill. Look, mass killings certainly have grown since 2013. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Look, I understand. Listen, I'm a former military guy, a wartime vet. I own weapons myself. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm making that clear right now. But I'm bringing it to the table to
red
you.
flag laws. Should there be a red flag law? Right? Is that what your question is?
Well, the question is, should they eliminate rifles? Answer the question. What do they need to do?
You know, you're never going to eliminate a rifle, and a 308 is similar to an AK-47. It's semi-automatic. We used to shoot. I shot a lot of stuff. SKSs. This is a Kalashnikov. Here's just different things. AK-47s. They're all the same for the most part. Give or take a caliber. But if you shoot a 308, I mean that's going.
Well, I heard you right early. Do you think we need to focus more on the U.S. citizens' mental health, and maybe that's the issue that's going on? And
okay,
let me hear me on this one.
I know where you're going with it, so let me cut to the chase.
Go ahead.
Okay. Is there a red flag law? Yeah. Someone should call the cops and say, hey, the guy in Ohio has a kill list. He's telling everybody he's going to kill people in high school. He's going to rape. He had a rape list, a kill list. Should he have a gun? No. Okay? Should he be in a mental ward? Probably. He's going to do it. Okay? But here's the problem. No matter what anybody says or wants to do, if there's illegal drugs that come in the country, there will be illegal weapons. Mass killings are only up because of gang violence. If you look at the 4+ killings, and they're like 51% are African Americans or blacks that are killing 4+ people, it's gang violence. They're spraying gangs. And they're calling that a mass killing. But we're talking about the one idiot that walks into a place of work or a Walmart or a church and starts mowing everybody down because he has a high-power rifle. Well, the reality is that it's going to keep happening. And the reason is because we need to go back to the Constitution that there's a separation between church and state, which is what I'm saying, that the state that needs to get out of the church, not the other way around. The state needs to get out of the church. They need to start allowing churches to help promote Christianity, because what's going on is now there's a rise in atheism and Satanism, and these people are all Satanists. That guy, I promise you, was not a devout, born-again Christian that blew up, that shot up Walmart.
Well, no,
you know what I'm saying?
Certainly, as time goes, people lose their morals. I want to throw one other thing at you.
Yeah.
Video games. Do you think the numbing? All right, I don't know if you've ever.
I agree. Yes, there are certain video games that I've seen people play. They give you points for raping and killing people and shooting people in the head and murder, and you could be the bad guy in them. I mean, yeah, they definitely are causing this problem, but that's another avenue that the Satanists and globalists do, is they're using military-style training video games to train and promote murder of the cold blood kind in the country and mass killings.
Well, what if a person comes to you, they say, Jimmy Jact Cash, here's the deal. Like, you're blaming things on a whole bunch of different deals. Let's just eliminate guns in this country. Yeah.
How'd that work for Germany? And how's that working for Europe now? So, no, it's, listen, if you read the Bible at the end, it's a war. So you know what? It ain't gonna. No way. You can't do it. People have to lock and load. They gotta get ready. That's it. Because it's going down. Mass killings are gonna increase. And they're gonna increase. Everybody get ready. Adjust accordingly. It ain't gonna stop. I don't care what. I'm telling you, it's not gonna stop.
Explain to me why most of the mass killings are taking place in states like Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Michigan, and Illinois.
Illinois, because of Chicago, and the mass killings that are happening in Chicago are gang related. That's the first one, So in New York, you can buy a rifle and walk right into a place and buy a rifle. So I don't know those statistics, but I could just say, if you're saying is it easier to buy a gun in that area? It might be easier to buy a handgun, but nationwide, you could buy a rifle or a shotgun anywhere. And these guys are not committing crimes before they're doing it. They're not. There are some red flags psychologically, so that has to be merged a little bit. But the problem is, we need to decipher the difference between a real lunatic and someone that disagrees with the Democrat policy to have their guns taken away. So that's going to be the problem, is that they're going to utilize it in a negative way. So people need to be vigilant, and you need to call and say, this guy's a nut job. He doesn't need to have a gun. But, look at the terrorist attack. Look at Vegas. That wasn't a one-guy shooter. I have the proof. I broke it down. I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning when it happened. Was it Stephen Haddock or something? It wasn't a one-person shooter. What really happened there? It wasn't just one guy. He was a gun dealer. That was shown. He worked with, so...
Well, speaking of that, do you think that a lot of times these mass murders happen because, these... just proving how lazy society is getting, right? Someone just picks up a rifle and they're just going to just spray, and the more ants you have in the on the ground, you're going to be...
Guys, manifest. You have evil increasing in the world. Evil is not... Evil doesn't... The moral society doesn't always get worse. There was the Dark Ages. There was an Enlightenment. So there was a resurgence of Christianity and belief in the country in the 70s. So what I'm saying is that right now I see a resurgence of Christianity growing. I do see it. It's happening, but it's being muzzled. But more people, black, white, brown, in my businesses, I'm in the melting pot of the world. It's God bless. It's this, it's that. So everybody, evil is there. And the guy who shot up in El Paso, what would they call, if it was really his memo that he wrote to everybody, what's that called? His thing. His the writings that he had, that he said why he did it. Okay? Whatever they called that. He said that he's doing it because of, like, the guy in New Zealand to start a world war. So they're Satanists, they're evil, they're atheists, they're diabolical, they hate themselves, they hate the world. It is a spiritual battle. If you don't think it is, then we need to talk outside of this program, and let's talk about the spiritual battle that's really occurring, because only pure evil, not even someone that's messed up, because there's always been people that are messed up, only pure evil wants to go into a school and kill kids. Mm-hmm. And only pure evil wants to make kids do this, whether it's happening because they're playing video games, happening because they're part of some covert psychological program with brain chips that they admit that's happening. Is it an MK Ultra program? Is it a DARPA psychological program? Are they in cults? I mean, now people say, oh, but this is what is really going on. But is that happening? Well, you know what? It's happening because there's evil out there. And evil wants to hurt you. It's the same reason why the left, for example, right? Not to go off topic, this is huge. All the left keeps saying is Donald Trump is a racist. Donald Trump is a bigot. Donald Trump hates black people. He hates them. And then Donald Trump goes, I love black people. Hey, you know what? How about I bring a whole bunch of black people in the White House, tell them how much I love them, and help them the best way I can. Oh, he's a bigot. Oh, he's a racist. He hates you. Now, you know why they're doing that? Because this is why. Because they have zero morals. They don't believe it. They don't believe anything they're saying. They have zero morals. And they want to hurt the feelings of people of color, black or Spanish. They want to hurt their feelings and make them think that America hates them. They want them to think that white people hate black people. And I'm down with the brown on many levels. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a rapper. I chill. I've had girlfriends that are black and brown and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Did you trademark down with the brown?
No, but you've heard that before. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to take
and
that from you.
And where I'm going is, no, but I'm saying, like, my best friends are, like, people who know me. My business partners, best friends, roommates are black. You know what I'm saying? So I have other white friends. I have all different friends. I don't really care. Spanish, whatever. So I don't really care because I'm a Christian. I don't believe in skin color. I just feel it's a pigment of melanin enhancement. It's not even a race. We have one race, human race. Everything else is just area and geographical. You know what I mean? And I could prove that to anybody. But anyway, on that note, what I'm saying is that they want black people to feel that, like, there is a problem. And many of them don't believe in it. And so now I've seen the digression of race relationships gone from we were coming together in the 90s. If it was Biggie Smalls and Tupac and Dirty South music, Little John, this and that, you know, and we were all like chilling at a club, having fun, and the youth, and then I'm growing up, and you know, and I could walk the streets anywhere. I got my hood card. I stole it, but I got it. You know what I'm saying? But that was a joke. All right, anyway, but you know what I mean? So you know what I mean? Like I got, you know, so I'm walking down, and now I see a lot of these kids. They're not even making eye contact with me. And the word of the street is like, yo, you always make eye contact when you're walking down the block. And this is like not trying to talk, you know, the talk like swag and stuff. But when you're walking down the block, you got to make eye contact a lot of times, because if not, they know you're an outsider. So it's like, yo, what's up? You always say what's up. I lived in the worst areas. Like, I could tell you so many stories. Most of the time because I'm cheap and I buy apartments in the ghetto and be like, yo, I don't, you know, like I don't give a fuck. True, that's a true story. You know, I lived in the worst spot. People like, you lived on Essex Street in Lynn? You lived on Dot Ave? You lived on Clinton Ave in Albany? What are you, nuts? I'm like, nah, dude, I don't give a fuck. Like, straight up. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of like walk down like, are you from here or you're not? You know, now these kids are awkward. They don't want to look at me. I'm like, yo, bro, what's up, bro? And like, huh? I'm like, yo, what's good? And like, 7'5", tell him what's up. Yo, I love you, bro. Come on into the gym. Come hang out. Oh, shit. Whoa, okay. It's like you got to break down the barrier. So we got to do it out of love of Jesus. I mean, I got no fear. You know what I mean? So people know, like, I've done marketing my whole life. I'll walk up to anybody, talk to anybody, and, you know, make a buck off it. I'll also do it for fun. But, you know, the Democrats are unmoral, disgusting scumbags. Okay? All of them. Okay? Unless they're too dumb to see it. So I'm going to say that there's a portion of the Democrats that are unintelligent or blinded, you know, have wool over their eyes. Now, all of the politicians are dirtbag scumbags that are willing to make black people, Latino, Spanish-speaking people, and make them feel inferior in their own minds, and beat it in their heads to say, white people don't like you. Your president hates you. He thinks you're a bigot. He thinks you're this. He thinks you're that. What's up?
It's me, Jimmy.
Who is it?
Alden.
All right, I'll hit you up in a minute, bro.
All right. Well, I only like 15 minutes, though.
All right, bro. Listen, we don't really have to talk. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right.
All right, cool. You're my boy, though. Anyway, so you know what I'm saying is they want to make it seem like Donald Trump hates you. And I had a dude come up to me in the gym, and he quoted Obama. And this is a Christian, right? And he's like, Obama, he's so humble. And he said, you know, he didn't mention any names. And he said that words, Obama pretty much blamed Trump for the shooting. Right? Did you see that text?
Yep.
So I said, dude, no way. You're out of your mind. Like, I had to set him straight. You know what I mean? Like, who's for abortion? Who's killing black children more than anybody? Obama. What's Obama's unemployment rate with black people? 16.8%. What's Trump doing for him? What did Obama do for you that Trump didn't? Who's really? I go, you're either of God, of light, or of darkness. Obama's in gray. Gray is the worst. Gray area is the worst. If you're dark, you could see it. If you're light, you're good. Obama's gray. That's deception. So, you know, I could keep going, but, you know, you guys probably got time, right?
Listen, powerful stuff. Look, you got like 20, 25,000 people watching you. What message do you have for the people out there that watch this show?
Well, first of all, if any of them have a question and would like to talk about God and Jesus Christ, they could personally hit me up directly anytime on my messenger. And I mean that. Because if you don't go to heaven, you ain't going to be at the party. I promise you that. That's the first and most important thing. Then, every issue that we have in this country is an issue of what God do you pray for, and is it the right God? Because God rules the entire world. He's omnipotently powerful, and he rules it all. So don't fear in any which way, because even if you die, okay, if you give your life to Christ, guess what? You're living forever, okay? So that's an easy one. Dying, you know, is an easy one. But what I'm saying is all these issues that we have is to take your kids and take them and hug them and the neighbor. And everybody say, you know what, bro? Guess what? There's a guy called Jesus Christ. He died for your sins. I have a lot of convicts and drug addicts that come into my gym. Okay? Heroin addicts, drugs. I've had them crying on me. Okay? People don't know who I am unless you've actually been around me. And then you're like, that's why people who know me stick with me. If I was such a bad guy, they wouldn't. Okay? So I got guys that are drug addicts, crime, prostitutes, different major things. Yo, bro, first of all, guess what? Jesus, I Am Fitness is a Christian gym. I am as God. Okay? Okay, now this is important because this is about the country. Jesus died for your sins. Guess what? I ain't your God. I don't condemn you. If you ask for forgiveness from God, you too can be saved. And then all men and women are created equal under the eyes of the law. That was the first thing in the Constitution. So people need to understand this country was built on God. And there was only one God. And that's Jesus Christ, one with I Am and the Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost. So that being said, in the Constitution they wrote everybody's created equal. That overcame slavery. It was in the Constitution for slavery not to exist. And people don't understand that. That's why they put that there. Because they knew it was going to come up. And if you base it on the Constitution, slavery shouldn't exist. That's the first part. So we need to overcome through it and you got to choose a side. Because right now it's a fight from evil. And don't equivocate. Do not pander to evil. Get in there. If they say to you, say, nah, bro, you know what, you're wrong. I'm right. God's right. Jesus is right. He's Lord and Savior. He's the God. In this country, we're giving it back to God. And if you don't like it, you know what? Go kiss Obama's ass. Okay?
All right, let's in 1 minute, we're just shutting down the show. I want to end it with wrestling. Okay. Summarize your thoughts on Vince McMahon Jr. in 1 minute.
I don't know who Vince McMahon Jr. is.
Come on, dude.
Vince McMahon? Oh, he's Jr. All right, well, listen, I never met him before, and I hope that I would just say, Vince, your ratings are going down, and it's not your fault. I'm serious. It is not your fault. You've held it together. Upper management has held together. Your ratings are weak because your wrestlers are weak. They're weak physically, they're weak mentally, and they're weak on the mic. They're weak in the ring. They got no character. They got nothing. So you know what? If you want, I'll do you a favor. I'll do you a favor because you're going to Fox. And you know what? Fox likes me. People on Fox News, the world likes me. I'll go in there and I'll give every last one of your superstars to forget about it. The best finishing move in the business. And you know what? Ratings will go up. Because when you got big moves, you get big money. And that's what Jimmy Jact Cash is all about. And that's the fact, Jacked.
Beautiful, beautiful. Jimmy, I want to thank you for joining Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. I got to tell you, I got a bunch of clips out of this one. You are the man, and I hope to see you in the future.
Hey, thanks for having me on. God bless, and peace.
All right, my friend. All right, you've caught Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte and the Pharaoh, scene here every Thursday from 8:05 to 9 p.m. That was our special guest, Jimmy Jact Cash. He has opinions, and he's not afraid to say them. And I got to tell you, if you could catch him at any kind of show, he's worth seeing. He is the real deal. We'll catch you again next week. And don't forget, we've got David Sammartino in studio in September, along with Jim Duggan and Bill Alfonso, and then October Brutus, the Barber Beefcake, and Buff Bagwell. So once again, I want to thank everybody for joining us. I want to thank Jimmy Jact Cash for joining us. I want to thank Jim Savali for allowing us to put this show on. We'll see you next week.
blue-eyed soul. This that blue-eyed soul. Static hit him with that blue-eyed soul. Smell the marijuana stench. Got my mind stayed deeper than the Mariana Trench. I scoop shorty by the Arizona. Took her home, baby blue, no Carolina. I let her ride up on this anaconda. Then bye-bye, Terminator, no Sarah Connor. This that Kenny Loggins yacht swag. I talk Monte, call me Bobby Boz Skaggs. Pop tags only if it's Ralph lift shits. Then pop my collar covered in your spouse lipstick. She love it how I spit the vocals, cause my phone sway is Del Rey, wavy like the Intercoastal. Hashtag Rockaway Beach every time you check my socials. Come and check me, just respect the locals. I was local, but next is global. Young Bobby Clay Thompson, you ballin' like Rebecca Lobo. Purple label, you can check the logo. You got next to no dough. I'm the freshest, all the rest is so-so. I had to hit him with that blue-eyed soul. This that blue-eyed soul. Had to had to hit him with that blue-eyed soul. This that blue-eyed soul. Static hit him with that blue-eyed soul. Smell the marijuana stench.